Hello and welcome to this special online edition of NightWatch. My name is Bill, coming to you from the Pseudocom Planetarium here at Adventure Science Center in Nashville. And the big event happening this month is the partial eclipse of the moon on early Friday morning, November 19th. And we are talking early in the morning. In fact, the eclipse begins just after midnight. So what is a partial eclipse of the moon? This occurs when the moon passes into the Earth's shadow, but not completely. Part of the moon will be basically sticking out of the Earth's shadow and not covered. Now in this case, this partial eclipse will almost be total when about 97% of the moon will be immersed in the Earth's shadow. So almost all of the moon, only about 3% will be sticking out during the eclipse. One thing nice about lunar eclipses is you don't need any optical aid. You don't need a telescope. You don't need binoculars. They will certainly help you get a closer view of the moon, but you can just go outside and look up and watch this eclipse from your backyard. It's as easy as that. So let's take a closer look at this eclipse. The full moon on the night of the 18th into the morning of the 19th will occur in the constellation Taurus the Bull. So take a look at this full moon in the sky and look up above it for a beautiful little cluster of stars known as the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters. In fact, it would be a good idea to watch this group of stars during the eclipse to see how many more you do get to see as the moon gets darker as it slides through the Earth's shadow and the sky gets a little bit darker during the eclipse. So let's take a look at this eclipse from beginning to end. Now again, the moon begins to move into the outer part of the Earth's shadow at about 12:02 a.m., but you really won't notice anything happening with the moon. Since this is the outer part of the shadow, there won't be any really noticeable changes. However, at about 1:18 in the morning Central Time, that's when the moon will begin to slide into the inner part of the Earth's shadow, and it will look like a little bite taken out of the side of the moon. Now, as we watch in this video, it's going to appear to come in through the side of the moon or near the top, depending on how you look at it, but this shadow will progress as the moon continues to slide into the Earth's shadow. Now, as we move ahead past 1:18 in the morning, the moon will be more and more covered by the Earth's shadow, and you may notice more stars becoming visible in the sky. The middle of the eclipse will occur at 3:02 in the morning, and that's when about 97% of the moon will be immersed in the Earth's shadow, and we're approaching that here in this video, so only a tiny sliver of bright moonlight will be sticking out of the Earth's shadow. But the moon will continue in its orbit and begin to slide out of the Earth's shadow, as we see here, as we have just passed mid-eclipse at 3:02 in the morning. And the moon will continue to move along in its orbit around the Earth, passing by stars. So if you do have a pair of binoculars or a telescope, take a look at some of those stars as they pass behind the darkened moon during the eclipse. And then the partial phases of this eclipse will end as the moon slides out of the Earth's inner shadow at 4:47 a.m. So again, late at night. So as we watch here in this video, the moon continues in its path, moving out of the shadow. Now again, just like earlier in the evening, the sky will begin to brighten up and some of the faint stars will become invisible again because the sky will just be too bright. But now we see at 4:47 a.m. as the moon is about to slide out of the Earth's shadow, we will go into the outer part of the shadow again, the penumbra, which the moon will slide out of at 6:03 a.m. as the moon is setting. But you probably won't notice that because, as you can see here, we have the full moon back in the sky, and that outer part of the shadow is not really noticeable. Now during the eclipse, we really don't know what color the moon will actually turn. It may be a pinkish orange or reddish orange. Sometimes it gets very dark, almost like a brown. Sometimes, in some cases, the moon does almost disappear from the sky. And this is due to different things in the Earth's atmosphere. Now, this year, as you may have heard, we have several volcanoes erupting, which are spewing ash into the Earth's upper atmosphere. So, we'll have to wait and see as to how much this ash content in the Earth's atmosphere will impact the darkness of this partial lunar eclipse. But if you are up early in the morning after midnight on the early morning of Friday, November 19th, go out and take a look at this beautiful partial eclipse of the moon. Now, if you can't stay up that late, don't worry, there's going to be another eclipse, and it will be a total eclipse of the moon next May, next spring, with the middle of the eclipse occurring at 11:11 p.m. on the night of May 15th into the 16th, 2022. So watch for that next year. But if you can't wait, you can watch this partial eclipse this year on the early morning of Friday, November 19th. Hope you can watch it, and we also hope you can join us here at the Pseudocom Planetarium at Adventure Science Center. Check out our regular version of NightWatch with other information about the nighttime sky here on social media. Thanks for watching, and clear skies.